We're the Norfolk Environmental Agency. This is Blake, this is Alicia, Jesse, and Jenna, and we are here to talk about this farm. This farm is terribly unsustainable. It is a pasture right beside a river. This is leaking sewage deep into the river. It's going downstream. It's polluting everything down away from it. He also has strawberries down here. They are currently being flooded with water. That's reducing his total crop yield. He has all this empty space up here that he could fill with a hay field, anything. These issues can easily be fixed with a little time and work. On to Jesse for wildlife.
Alright, so there's also being spotted a very rare bird. It's called a bobolink. It migrates every year, but its main location where it breeds is up in around Norfolk County. So it typically breeds in hayfields and grasslands, and with the pasture being so close to the forest and the cows there, they don't really have much space to nest. So it's basically to fix that, we have decided to place a hayfield so that the farmer can do something with this extra space that he has, as well as for a nesting area for the birds to use. We're recommending that he does an alfalfa timothy mix so that he can plant hay early May, late April, so that by the time it comes for him to harvest it, it'll be middle of July, so that the birds by then have had their babies, the birds can fly, and they can move so when he can harvest it and get a profit off of it or use it for his cattle. We also moved the cattle to the far side so that the birds are less driven to use it, so that their nests don't get ruined by the cattle, because they put their nests on the ground so the cows would trample it. And also we split the pastures for the cows into two separate ones, because with the continuous grazing they were using specific areas, and some were being left untouched, some were overeaten. So this way that they can be alternated between the two, so that the pasture can regrow. And we're going to suggest to put a mixture of bluegrass and white clover, so that because they're more durable, they can handle the cows treading over them, and they have quick recovery rates, so that they don't run out of grass, and he has to use less hay, so any excess can be sold off. So on to Alicia for soils.
Okay, hay increases the nutrients in the soil rapidly, and the average amount of time that an area could last that you would get out of it for just planting hay annually would only be maybe 7 years. So if every 4 years we plant 1 year worth of corn and then alternate it by following it by 2 years worth of hay, the field can have time to return to its average baseline of nutrients so that the weeds and grass don't overtake the field. Every other year, the farmer will produce a lower yield of hay due to using the smaller field, and he will more than likely be left with purchasing hay during those years. But it can save him money in the long run and then keep his hay field from being overrun by grass. Another thing that we can do to improve the riverbanks is allowing the trees to go thicker around the water edge, and this will help the roots hold the banks together and limiting the amount of erosion on the riverbanks.
The bees, seen down here at the bottom, we believe that farmers should get permanent hives instead of just renting for the summer, allowing for the bees to get more established in the environment and allowing wildflowers to grow in the extra grassland in the property. This allows for higher biodiversity and a larger amount of species. The strawberries, because of the buffer zone, will less be flooded, so they will grow faster and he will get a higher yield of strawberries per plant. The soil erosion will also be prevented by the buffer zone. The buffer zone also helps to keep the whole creek cool, allowing for a healthier environment for the brown trout that you like to fish for.
So creating a better environment for the trout will create a higher spawning rate and being able to produce more trout into the river. This will increase more fishing because there will be more fish available. Producing better water qualities will also help the other organisms that live around the creek and live off the trees and animal plants. Creating more habitat and food for the other animals will also raise the biodiversity around the creek, which they can sort of tread onto the farmer's field as well. Having the trees, extra trees there will help filter the pollutants and the chemicals and contaminants that will be brought to the river through runoff. Limiting the access to the river by the cows, from the cows, by moving the pasture to the other side of the field will limit the amount of bacteria entering the creek. This will decrease the levels of bacteria and nitrogen and phosphorus that are harmful in excess amounts, and E. coli levels will drop as well because of the flowing stream downstream, so people who are using them for drinking water won't be hurt.
Okay, increasing the size of the pasture and putting in a hayfield will increase the total yield of the farm. You'll get a higher profit rate. And in cleaning the water to go downstream, it'll increase the fish, but it'll also bring more fishermen into the area, which gives more money to the local businesses. You can actually sell dock space so people can go fishing on the river when they want to. And it'll increase the bird watching. The bobolink is a rare bird, so people will come to your farm. You can charge them or you can just let them onto it to increase awareness on sustainability and the overall ecology of this area.
We'd like to thank you for hearing our ideas, and thank you from Team 29 for paying us to help your farm.